Today we'll see some we'll check some more codes in Java, that means advanced Java. So first thing is the string. String is the most important data type that we used in Java. So this is a sequence of characters, and in Java string is enclosed in quotation marks, and so if you need to assign some value to a string variable, then you should include these values inside double quotation marks. And this string keyword represents a string data type, and this data type starts with an uppercase letter. The reason for this is because the keyword string is the name of a predefined class. So since string is a class, then what we can have in a string? We can have methods, and also we can have properties of a string. So this is the length method. So using this length method, what we can do? We can get the length of some string. For example, if we run this one, college. So first what we do, we declare a variable named as college in a string data type. Then we assign some values as here this is value is Don Bosco College, and then we get the length of this string using the using the length method. Okay, so in the second statement you can see we need to get the length of this string variable. So what we can do, we get this variable's name dot, then call the length method. So what will so the length method will return an integer. So that's the reason we assign this output to a word length variable, a variable named as word length to n, and this word length variable we declared this word length variable as an integer. Since the strings Don Bosco College consists of 17 characters, so the length method will return the value as 17. So we'll see some example for this. Then we'll print the and then we are going to get the output of the word length, or the value of the word length as the output. So then if I run this program, then you can have you are going to have 17 as the output. So then I'm going to reduce the number of characters of this string as Don Boss. So here how many characters we have? Here we have 5 letters. So we'll see the output of this one also. But it is 6. But we here this text has only 5 characters. So what is the reason for that? Reason for that is in strings they add the spaces as a character. So so if we count the number of characters of a string, then they will count the spaces also. For example, now here I think I am adding another string, so I am going to add I added another string and another space, and I run this program. Then you can see the answer as 7, because in string or in text they count the extra spaces and the spaces as a character. Okay, so next we'll see the concatenation operator of a string. So we can concatenate two strings using the plus operator or addition operator. This operator is a powerful operator. So if one of the two operands, either to the left or either the left one or right one operator, is a string, then the other operand will automatically convert it into a string, and then the both strings are concatenated. So that means you are going to concatenate a string and a number. Then what will happen? Then the number will automatically convert into a string variable. So we'll see this example also. So here I have a string variable named as s, and it is a price, and then I have an integer variable or number named as price. Then I going to have another string variable, then I'm going to name it as the new, and I'm going to assign the concatenation of these both s and price. Then I'm going to print this out. Then I'm going to run this in the debug mode. So now you can see here the value of s is price, the variable price, and now you can see the value of price, integer variable is 83, and here you can see value of s is price and value of price is 83, and the new variable. So at this point they are not assigned a value to the new variable. So after we execute this statement, then you can see the new price is equal to this string. So then you can see now the 83 also a string. So what happened here? When we use this concatenation operator, this will convert the price or the integer value to a string variable. Then it will gives us the output as this. Then if I then I can go to the console and see the output. So the output is like this: price is 83. Okay. So this explained what happened here. And we'll see the input and output statement. That means how we can get the input and give the output here in Java. So every program needs some data as input. So similarly, every program provides some process data as output. So in Java, input operations enable us to provide input data to a program, and output operations help us to get the output displayed in a desired format. And Java provides a rich set of input-output functions to perform these variety of operations. So input-output statement, first we'll see the console output. So the out object in the system class represents the standard output stream. Okay, then this out object has two methods. to send the output to the console. So these methods are print and println methods. So print method displays the output without a new line character, and println method display the output with a new line character. So what happened here is the print method, in print method, after printing the things, the cursor of the console stay in the same line. But when we use this println method, what happened? The cursor goes to another new line, and the next thing or the next text the console commands to print will print in a new line. So, and also these print and println methods are overload methods, so they can output many different types of data such as integer, double, char, string, and so on. For example, we'll run this program. So now I am going to add another print method. And another println method. Sorry, another print method. Okay, then what is the expected output? So at first, before we get the output, we'll see what should be the output. Okay, then what is the expected output? So first we have system dot out dot print method. So then it says welcome to Java. So since this is the print method, then it is not going to display the it is not going to place the cursor in the next line. And you can see here we have a dot, and here they have added a little space. You can see a space. Then what they're going to do, then the console is going to print have a nice time. Then since this is a println method, then again we have dot and a space, and they will go to the next line. Then we have another method. Then here in this method it is going to display this is the console. Then again this is a println method. Then what will happen? Then it will after printing this, the cursor will go to the next line. Then here it will print hello, and this since it is a print method, the cursor will remain at this place. So we will see whether the output will be same as this. Yes, here we can see the output. Welcome to Java, have a nice time. And here we have 2 lines. What is the reason for this? Reason for this is because of this print and println methods. So I think you understand this one. And next here we have another example. You can to check the output, you can go and run these things. So we can use this println method if you need to put some extra spaces in our output. For example, here you can see I need to print something, then after that I need some blank line, then they print another word. So we'll see this example also. So think instead of these things, okay, here I have a new line as this. So think here we have welcome to, it is going to print welcome to Java, then it is going to print this, and it is going to print a blank line, and then it is going to print hello. So we'll see whether this output will display like this. Yes, of course, here you can see welcome to Java and some dots, and here we have hello after a blank line. Then we'll see how to get the console output. So in Java, any input is read as a string. So when we read anything from the console, then what they get this thing, even it is a number, they get this thing as a string. So how to get the input? Here system out.print, enter your name. Then what we do, we create a reader variable in the input stream reader class, and then we convert this reader into a buffer reader class. So we'll see what happened here. So in this program, the name that is keyed in by the user is received by the system and stored in the buffer system in terms of byte. So what is a buffer? Buffer is a place or memory place that Java stores the input values, or when Java gets the input from the user, then Java stores this information or data in a memory place called as buffer. So at first, when the user inputs something, then what will happen? The things are going to store in the system.in buffer, and these are going to store as bytes. So here when the second statement, here you can see the second statement as buffered reader in equal new buffered reader, and here what happened in this second statement is the bytes of the buffer system.in are converted into a characters, and these are stored in the object called as reader. Okay, so what happened after the user input the things into the program, then they store these in the buffer, then the things in the buffer uh, are converted into the characters, and this thing is stored in the object called reader. And here if you go to the first reader or first statement, then here the object, the input stream reader object such as a reader can read characters, but it cannot get a string at a time. So what, here we have an object called input stream reader. This object can only read one character at a time, and so it can't read a whole string at one time. So to overcome this limitation, we turn this input stream reader to a buffer reader object as in the second statement. Okay. Then in Java, buffer reader and the buffered input stream are similar, but not they are not exactly same, because the reason for that is the main difference is buffered reader and reader reads characters. That means buffered reader can read a text, and the buffered input stream can only read one row bytes or one character at a time. So when you go and check the false statement, what happened here? They use the read line method to read a string and store this in the string type variable name, string type, and give and in the given variable name. So think if you provide 1000 as the input to the following snippet, then the value will read as the string 1000 and stored the value of a string, this thing in a string type variable text. So here we have some example. So here check, since if we put a number, then what will happen? Then it is going to read as a text. So if you need a number again, what you have to do, then you have to change or pass the number or this text into a number. So for this we can use this method as integer dot parseInt. Okay, then this method will pass the text into a number. So we'll run this one also. So if we debug this thing, first we'll run this one. So then they ask me to enter some dollars. Then here we have something, but it doesn't display anything. Okay, but we'll see. We'll display something. So we'll display the dollar here. So now we'll debug this and see what happened here. So you can see at first so they asked to input something, then I input that, and now you can see here they read the line. Now the value of test is equal to 23, and here you can see it is a text variable, it is not a string. Now at this point also int is a text variable, 23 is a text type. Then at this point you can see the dollar is equal to 23. By using this integer.parseInt method, we converted this dollar into this text into an integer. Then if we go further, then it is going to display the 23 in the console. Okay. Then we'll see the condition statements, control statements. So here in the control statement, we are going to learn about conditional and looping. So control statements, these control statements are used to control over the order of the execution of the statements. So these two major types of control statements available in Java are the decision making statements and the repetitive statements. So under the decision making statements we have if else and switch, and under repetitive statements we could have for, while and do while. So at first we will see this control statement. So we call these things as conditional statements or decision making statements. So in Java, you can have to test some condition or to test a Boolean condition. We can have these statements: if statement, if else, nested if else ladder, and the switch statement. So if we check this condition will return you true or false. So here we have this if condition. So this is the syntax for if condition. So what you have to do, first type the keyword if, then within brackets you have to give the condition, and within the if block within these brackets you have to give the code to be executed if the condition is true. So this is the flowchart. I think you remember the flowcharts when we discussed these things earlier. Then what happened? First, the program flow first check the condition. So if the condition is true, then it is going to execute the if code, and if the condition is false, then it is not going to execute the if code and go with the normal program of the program. Then here we have this example. So what they do here is they check here we have an integer and the value of this age is 20, and we check if the age is greater than 18. Then if the age is greater than 18, what will happen then? We are going to go inside this if statement and print the things. Otherwise it is just going to go with the normal flow of the program. So we'll run this example. So we'll output something if the condition is not false. So no, we'll give something to do after this if condition. So this one is going to execute after the if condition. Okay, then we'll put the breakpoint not here, and we'll run this program step by step. Okay, now we are at this first statement. Now age is equal to 20. So here you can see the value of age is 20, and the argument returns true because age is greater than 18. Then since the argument is true, what will happen then? This will go inside this statement and it will execute, or it will do the things that inside this if statement, and go outside this statement and execute this one too. Then if we go to the console, we can see the output. Here we have age is greater than 80, and also we have the thing after the if condition. So now we'll do some alternation here. So I'll add println, then it will be easy to understand us. Then I change the age to 10. So again I'm going to run this program. Now I'm here. Okay, not to run. I'm going to debug this one. Then I am here. Then we can see now the age is equal to 10. Then here you can see the condition returns false. Then what will happen? Then the program flow is not going inside this if statement, and it is going to bypass this. We'll see. Yes, of course, it doesn't go inside here, and it just go and execute the things after this if condition. Then if we go to the console, we can only see the things after the if condition, because here the condition becomes false. So I think you understand what happened here. So next we have if statement. If else statement. So if we need to execute something, if the condition becomes false, then we can add this else statement. So this else statement is optional. We add this else statement if and only if we need to do some statements if the condition becomes false. So this is how the syntax works. So here you can see the if condition and the codes to execute if the condition is false, and then put the else keyword, then give the codes to execute if the condition is false. So here you can see. So at first the program flow goes and check the condition. So if the condition is true, then it is the program flow is to go inside the if doc, and it is going to execute the if code. And if the program condition is false, then it is program flow is going to go inside the else code, and it is going to execute the things inside this else code. So here we have another example. We'll check this one. So what we are going to check here, we are checking whether the number is divisible by 2. So that is the condition here. So this is the mod sign. Mod sign means we check if the number divided by 2, then whether there is any remainder. So if there is no any remainder, that means the number is divided by 2. Otherwise it means the number is not divided by 2. So to check an even number, then what you have to do, we have to check whether the number is divisible by 2. So now I'm going to run this, debug this thing again. Okay, now before that I have to add some code. So I'm going to print something after the print statement also, after the if statements. So the value of number is now 13, and the condition, so here it returns, the mod operator returns 1. So the condition is false. Then what will happen? Then this program flow will go outside of the if statement, then it will go and execute the else statement, and it will print it is as an odd number and do this. So if we go this, they will see, we can see this is as an odd number. So the thing that we had at this during the debugging mode is not going to execute. Okay, then we'll change some things. That means I'll change this to 12 and check what will happen. Now number is equal to 12 and mod operator gives 0. So because of this returns true. Then this will go inside this if condition. if block, and it will display the things inside the if block, and it is not going to go and execute the things inside the else block, and it will do the other things after the if block. And if we go to console, now we can see the output as it is an even number and after the if. So this is the else if statement. Then here we have the else if ladder. Else if ladder means if the first condition becomes false, then we can check another condition. So the next condition or the second condition becomes false, we can check another condition. So like this, then finally we can add as else statement to execute if any of these conditions if any of these condition doesn't become true. Then this is the flow chart. So if the condition 1 is true, then it is going to execute the statement and go with the next program statement. And if it is false, then this is going to check the second condition. Then the second condition is true, then it is going to execute the things inside the second if condition, if and go with the normal flow like this. And finally, if all these conditions becomes false, then it is going to execute the else statement. So next we'll check the code for this if else ladder. So here we have a great ladder, very big ladder. Okay. So the value is, we'll assign this value as 17. Okay, now we are going to run these things step by step. So now the value marks is 17. And here the condition whether marks is less than 15, it is false. So what will happen then? This will jump into the next else if statement. So here this next if statement check whether the value is between 15 and 16. Again this is false. This returns false. Then we go and check the next statement. So here we check whether the value is between 16 and 17. Again this is false. Then here check whether it is equal to 17 or less than 18. Then it is true. Then what will happen? Then this will execute things inside this and then go outside of this else if ladder and print the things after the else if ladder. So the output will be the B grade and will print the things after the if statement. So then we have this switch statement. So switch statement, here this switch statement execute one statement from using multiple conditions. So we can use this instead of the else if ladder. So this is the syntax. So here you have to give the switch keyword, then the expression or the thing that you need to check, or the variable that you need to check with these cases, and then you have to type the cases, and finally if any of these things doesn't match with these cases, expression doesn't match with these cases, then you can give a default thing, default statements to be executed. So here is the switch statement. You can just go through this, and now we are going to execute this switch statement. Then we'll see what will happen here. Okay, so here now we at this point. So when we execute the next one, you can see number is equal to 20. Then now we are going to check the value of number or variable number here in the case statement. So they check the first statement, so it is not equal to 10. Then they check the second statement, so it is equal to 20. So now it is going to execute the things inside the 20 and go outside the switch and give the output. So it gives 20 and after the if. And then we'll go and see the control statement or repetitive. So here Java have for loop. We can use this for loop if the number of times that the loop is going to iterate is fixed, because in for loop we have all the variables fixed. So it is recommended to use this loop if all the number of times that repetition is fixed. It is recommended you to use this for loop. Then this is the syntax for loop. So at first you have to give the keyword for, then put the initialization, then put the condition that you need to check, and then give the increment and decrement operator, and then give the codes to be executed or needs to be executed repeatedly. So this is the flow chart. So in the for loop, at first they do the initialization of the loop variable, and then they check the condition, then they do the statement, and then do the increment or decrement operator, and again go and check the condition. So if the condition is true, now again the things are going to iterate. So the things are going to, or the program flow is going to exit from the loop statement if the condition becomes false. So here we have some examples. So in this example, we are going to print the numbers from 1 to 10. So this is a thing that you should remember. Maybe you will be, for exams also, you will have these things like this. So here you can see I have initialized the integer variable I as 1, and then the condition is I have to check whether the value of I is less than or equal to 10, and that means this one is going to iterate until the value of I is less than or equal to 10. Then this is the increment operator. That means the value of I is going to be increased at every iteration. So we'll debug this. So now you can see after execute this statement, now you can see the value of I is equal to 1. Okay, now it is going to print the value of I. So the next, now we are in the next statement. Now the value of I is equal to 1, and now you can see now the value of I is equal to 2, because we did the increment operator, then we check the condition, and again we are going to execute the things. Okay, now here we are at this statement, and here again now the value of I increased to 3. So then the value of I at this place, the value of I will increase to 4, and again we'll check the condition. Now 4, now the value of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now the value of y is equal to 10. So at this moment the value will increase to 11 and the condition will becomes false and this will go outside of this loop. So here you can see this go outside of the loop and now it is going to display the things. So here in the console you can see the numbers up to 10 and after the for loop. Then the while loop, so we call this while loop as entry controlled because in the while loop we check the condition at the beginning of the loop, and we can use this while loop if the number of iteration is not fixed. So if the number of iterations are not fixed, then it is recommend to you to use this while loop. So this is the syntax. First give the keyword while, then check the condition, and inside the within brackets you have to give the code that you need to be executed. So this is the flow chart. So at first you have to check condition. If the condition becomes true, then do the statements and then again go and check condition. So this is going to iterate or this is going to loop until the condition becomes false. So here we have some example. So using this while loop again, we are going to print numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, now we are at here. Now the value of y is equal to 1 and the condition is true. And now we can see it is going to print the value of I, then increase the value of I, then the now value of I is equal to 2 and again the condition becomes true and print I and then increase the value of I. Now the tree like this is going to iterate. So this is the 10th time. So again the value is equal to 10. It is again true. And now the value is equal to 11. Now the condition is false. So what will happen? Then it will go outside the loop and print the statement as after the while loop. So if we go to this console, you can see they have printed the values 1 to 10. Then they have printed after the while loop. Then we check the do while loop, that is exit control loop. So what happened here is the condition is checked after we executing the things. That means first we execute the things inside the do while loop, then finally we check the condition. So here this do while loop ensure that the things or this code will execute at least one time, because think if at the first place this thing becomes false, then before the condition becomes false they have executed some code inside this do block. So this is what will happen in the do while loop. At first, in the first statement, first they will execute the statements, then they will check the condition. So if the condition becomes false, then it will exit from the loop. Otherwise, it will go again and iterate the loops. Iterate the statements. So we will see this example also. So now we are here. Value of I is equal to 1 and increase the value, and the condition is true. Then this is going to execute 10 times. So the value of I is equal to 10, and now the condition is false because the value of I is equal to 11, and this is going to exit. And if you go to the console, now you can see this as the output. So this is not all Java that you have to learn, but during this limited time period, this is this is the things that you have to learn. Okay, then if you have any questions, you can contact me and ask. Then you all have a nice day.